Hello and welcome back to Reality Check. It is time for the final episode of this three-part special all about the science of prey.
What the hell have you done?
Oh my god! Security!
Fear is primal. In the wild, it serves as a protective mechanism, allowing animals to avoid predators and other potential threats. For humans, fear is more complex. That said, we've all experienced it, whether it's before an important test, confronting some jerk on a Friday night, or that panic when you're absolutely sure you've lost your wallet, only for it to turn up in that pocket that you never use. Why do you even exist, pocket? As bad as these fairly mundane fear experiences can be though, put yourself for a moment in the shoes of prey's central character. You are trapped aboard Space Station Talos 1, and you are definitely not alone. Hostile alien life is in abundance. Some mimic their surroundings, meaning almost anything could be a threat, and others are actively hunting you. So, how would being in this situation affect your mind and your body? Well, that's exactly what we're going to find out in this episode. In short, imagine that you are Morgan Yu. Oh, I get it.
I think one of the first things that being hunted would do to you is it would increase your vigilance. So we talk about hypervigilance, and this is basically a state where you are tuned in to threat. It's a little bit like having the smoke alarm at your house turned up too sensitively. So it's a little bit better at detecting when your house is on fire, but it's an awful lot better at detecting when you're burning toast. So you will have a threat response, which will increase your blood pressure, which will dump adrenaline into your bloodstream at a much lower threshold than somebody who is less vigilant.
Welcome back to Mark Coulson. Now, long-time Reality Check fans will recognize Mark from many previous episodes of the show. So, being hypervigilant, as he put it, what would be the impact of all that biological response? And would it actually be helpful?
One of the first things that happens when adrenaline gets dumped into your bloodstream is you lose a lot of your fine motor control. So if you're performing a task that requires precision and accuracy, you'll be less effective at it. That's because one of the main effects of something like adrenaline is to give you effectively a boost to your explosive power. The purpose is fight or flight. But if you want to do something intricate, then pressure is generally a bad thing.
So if you needed to quickly escape from that alien chasing you down, or bash it to a pulp with a wrench, then yeah, that would help. However, if you needed to hack your way through a security door, or operate a computer in order to escape, then perhaps not. Your fumbly fingers just might be your doom. Fight or flight, though, is not the only impact of fear.
One of the things that a stressful situation does is it tends to narrow our attention. So we're much more focused on the particular details that we might need to respond to. So if we make you anxious in the laboratory, then you will actually be better at certain kinds of tasks, which for instance might include picking out a threatening face in a crowd, but it comes at a cost. So by not paying so much attention to the periphery, to what's going on around you, you might miss various opportunities. You might have a weaker understanding or perception of the global situation.
So this might make you better at spotting threats, like, I'm sure that chair just moved. Or, wasn't there just one mug over there before? However, it may make you less good at paying attention to the layout of the station, for example, resulting in you getting lost and putting yourself in needless danger. As interesting as it is to hypothesize about how being in this prey situation might affect you, ultimately, though, we'll never really know, because none of us will ever be in that situation, and playing the game is just not a real enough experience. Or is it?
When you play a game like this, you will have real physiological and biological responses to the events. Your palms will sweat, your heart rate will increase, adrenaline may start to interfere with your ability to use the controller as you lose your fine motor control. You will find your focus of attention narrowing. You may find your perception of time altering as well. This is a real experience. And in a sense, of course, your real physical existence is not being threatened, so you might say they're far less terrifying than experiences we might have in the real world. But on the other hand, we don't have those sorts of experiences in the real world.
Okay, now I want to finish this episode by focusing on just one aspect of what makes prey such a uniquely tense experience: the mimic aliens. These guys rush around and mimic objects of roughly the same mass that they bump into. Crucially though, they do this of their own accord. They are not predetermined to be a specific object at a specific time. All we know as a player is that they tend to mimic nearby objects, so if they're two of one thing next to each other, then we should really watch out. So what impact does this have on us?
When there's any possibility that we might be able to predict what's going to happen, but we're not sure, then we will tend to get anxious and stressed. So if a particular alien always pretends to be a coffee cup, that ceases to become exciting or interesting because we'll learn that extremely quickly. The key thing from a game's design point of view is to ensure that the aliens are only sometimes coffee cups and sometimes something else and sometimes they're not there at all.
So the key then is to be unpredictable. That is interesting.
I love the mimic aliens in Prey because I think they're not ridiculous. That's the thing which is so strange, something which is able to copy an item so specifically. We find creatures like that on Earth already. So when you think of the masters of camouflage, everybody says chameleons, and everybody is wrong. Cuttlefish are a zillion times better. Chameleons, yes, they can change their color, but they're doing it via hormones. That's slow. Your bloodstream is only ever moving at the rate of your blood. Cuttlefish use neurons, therefore it is the speed of electricity. They have got chemicals that respond to light all over their body, all over their tentacles. This means it's almost as if they're seeing and responding to their environment with their tentacles. Moreover, cuttlefish have got rings of muscle in strange places, allowing them to take on the texture of their environment. It's not just that it has got the right colours, it's got the right texture, and to an extent the right feel. Cuttlefish are the masters of camouflage.
Well, that's it for this 3-part reality check special all about the science of Prey. You can watch all 3 episodes right here on GameSpot, and if you have any questions, ask away in the comments box below, or of course you can reach out to me directly on Twitter @CamFrazRob. I hope you've enjoyed this mini return to reality check, and thanks for watching.